Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. So this will be the first valuation that I do that I perform on Rumble. I hope you guys stay tuned until the end. I will arrive with an actual price for this publicly traded water company. And this is a company that I've spent some time on in years past, but I ended up dropping the idea because the Biden administration absolutely destroyed, and environmentalists absolutely destroyed the company. And I'm going to get into exactly what this company does and what their goals are and some themes, right, that are currently going on. So the company is called Cadiz Incorporated. They trade on the NASDAQ under symbol CDZI. Their current share price is about $4.60, and there's about 68 million shares outstanding. So um, some high level information about the stock price and whatnot. And you know, none of this is financial advice. I'm just doing this as a benefit to people that want to learn more about how to value equities. And even the valuation that I'm about to perform is very high level. Again, it's very high level. So, about Cadiz, about the company. They are a provider of water solutions to Western states, California and Arizona, I believe. They own 46,000 acres of land, and underneath that land is a naturally recharging aquifer, and that aquifer is located in the Mojave Desert, which the Mojave Desert, if you don't know, I believe it's in Nevada and California. Um, some geography there. So, the land and the water rights were assembled by the company's founders in the 1980s, and the aquifer that provides groundwater is roughly the size of Lake Mead. So that's 17 to 34 million acre feet of groundwater in storage, which is a lot. Lake Mead is a massive, massive source of water for the western states. Um, so it's a pretty large size, this aquifer. Um, the long-term goal of Cadiz is to construct and provide a 43-mile water pipeline called the Southern Pipeline. This pipeline would extend from the aquifer in the Mojave Desert all the way to the Colorado River Aqueduct. So essentially, they would be feeding more water into the Colorado River. It would act as maybe a secondary supply of water, potentially an emergency supply. Who knows? Who knows? They also, just a disclosure here, they have another pipeline called the Northern Pipeline that they are working on. It's a smaller pipeline. It would be less cash flow accretive to the company. It would produce less revenue than the Southern Pipeline, but nonetheless, they have two pipelines, a Northern Pipeline and a Southern Pipeline. The value proposition. So the company is aiming to install pipelines to pipe water into communities that struggle with drought, mainly California. Now, why am I talking about this equity? Why do I think that it could be due for potential increase in value? Uh, in 2017, the Trump administration attempted to revive the Cadiz water pipeline project. However, this was halted by lawyers and environmental groups that claimed the pumping of the groundwater from the Cadiz aquifer would hurt local wildlife. I don't know if that's true or not. All I know is that the groundwater, the company has done studies and it's naturally recharging. So again, I haven't done studies on this. If I was taking this a little more seriously, I would, but this is just high level, quick breeze through. So, in my opinion, the Trump administration could potentially revive the pipeline project. I think it'll be on his agenda when he's ticking and tying that agenda. I think this will be on there. And obviously, California is in a desperate need for water solutions as they face continued droughts. Today, look at the aftermath of that horrible, horrible uh, wildfire out there, right? It's terrible. They had no water. The pipes were dry. There was no water coming out of the pipes. They could not fight the fire, which I think is still going on. Um, So, and then again, Lake Mead, which is the most massive source of water for Western states, the levels have dropped 170 feet since the year 2000. So eventually, they're going to need this source of water. They're going to need it eventually. They're going to need a source of water, and it could be this one. So all of these are headwinds. All of these are tailwinds. I don't know why I said headwinds there. Uh, Tailwinds. Headwinds are issues that the company could face. Tailwinds could boost the company's valuation or make it more attractive. So these are three tailwinds right there. Now getting into the water capacity, and then I'll actually get into Excel and put a value on this. So they have an abundant source of rechargeable water. That's another tailwind. It recharges, it refills, it's an aquifer. So according to company management, in their 2023 10K filing that you can access on sec.gov, Cadiz could pump approximately 25,000 acre-feet per year of water from the northern pipeline and roughly 75,000 to 150,000 acre-feet per year of water from the southern pipeline, right? So you can see the southern pipeline is much larger than the northern pipeline in terms of capacity and potential. So the company states, again, in their 2023 10K filing, that public water agencies would be able to purchase up to 50,000 acre-feet per year of water at an agreed-upon market price estimated to start at $850, right? So again, you can do some math on this, and I've done just that. And let's go to Excel now. All right, here's their income statement briefly. Here's their top line. You can see their growing revenue. These are all fiscal years, and then I get into quarters for 2024. They did make an acquisition in 2022 for ATEC Systems. ATEC provides water filtration solutions out west. But you can see in quarter one, they start doing, and by the way, there's 3 months in a quarter. There's 12 months, obviously, in these fiscal years. They start doing substantial revenue on a quarterly basis, 1.1 million. Then it drops to 513, which is comparable to 2021, just 3 months. And then in quarter three, you can see that their revenue grows significantly to 3.2 million. That's just for 3 months. That's larger than 2023 and 2022, right? So just something to take note of. Now, even if they do on the low end 500,000, if you were to sum this, that's 5.3, almost 5.4 million. Now, if you were to divide that by the last year, it's a 169% increase in revenue. So the company is certainly growing revenues, right? The cash flows are still a problem. They don't generate any money. Abysmal operating income, earnings before interest taxes. And their G&A is growing virtually every year, right? So they're on track to do probably their highest G&A expense ever this year once they get the next quarter in. I bet you it'll be maybe close to 20 million. Moving on. Don't worry about any of this. This is just margins and revenue growth. So let's get into the actual valuation. So this is a scenario analysis that I've created. Basically takes their assumptions on their water capacity and the payment that they could get per acre foot. So I have a base case, you can see, or a bear case, you can see here. I have a bull case, sorry, a base case, and then I have a bull case. You can see that this updates every time, just indicating which case that you are selecting. So we'll start with the base case. We'll perform the valuation down here. Valuation summary. So we'll use their future revenue that I projected. Future revenue estimation. Their future revenue that I have projected is about 116 million. And now if you go over to the comps that I pulled, the comp sheet just shows you comparable companies that operate in the same sector as Cadiz. They operate in the water sector. You can see that they generate revenue and they have an enterprise value. An enterprise value is essentially the market cap plus any net debt minus, it's plus net debt essentially. So obviously market cap is just total shares times the share price, right? So essentially you can do their enterprise value divided by their revenue, and you can get a revenue multiple. What are these companies currently trading at? What's the multiple, right? And keep in mind, these are all comps of Cadiz. Now, if you do Cadiz, you say maybe they generate 7 million in 2024. Their revenue multiple is about 48x, so a clear outlier, right? But what we can do is take the average. We can take the average of the comps. You get about 8.5x. These companies, on average, trade at about 8.5 times their revenue. That's their value, their enterprise value, right? So what we can do is we can multiply Cadiz's revenue by an average revenue multiple of the comps. So let's take that. Let's take that. 8.5x. And we'll have to reformat it. Perfect. Now maybe that's a little high, right? That seems a little high to me. You wanna be draconian here. Why don't we do 7? We'll do 7x. Oops. I want to multiply it. All right, so there's the enterprise value. Now you're gonna want to subtract net debt to get an equity value. And let's see. I don't know if I don't have their balance sheet info, so we'll have to go online to get that. Perfect. So they have 3.3 million in cash and cash equivalents, as you can see, and their long-term debt is about 56 million. So we'll just do their net debt is 52 million, right? Subtract the cash from the debt. So we'll do 52 million, another zero. And you want to subtract that from the enterprise values. Their equity value could be 766 million. Again, guys, this is all hypothetical here. Okay. I have no idea what's going to happen to this company. I've just done some basic high-level analysis on it. Now you're going to want to divide this equity value by shares outstanding, right? How much of the pie? And they have up here 68 million shares, potentially. We'll get the exact number. I have it right here. See this? Shares outstanding right here. It says diluted shares outstanding, ignore that. We'll have to multiply this by 1,000 to get it to million. And here is the equity value per share. Boom. So let's figure this out. It's about $11.26 per share. Now the current share price is $4.67. So potential upside, or sometimes you value these things and there's downside. Potential upside, downside, obviously. About 141%. Okay. Hopefully this all makes sense. It's a very high level way to value a company. Typically you do, EV to EBITDA, enterprise value to EBITDA, but some growth companies you have to use revenue, as the companies don't have EBITDA, they don't generate any cash. Now let's see what happens when we adjust the scenario. Maybe it's the bear case, right? Well, that leaves you at $6 a share. Now, what's the bull case? That's $18.40 a share. That's almost a 300% increase from current market price, right? So, obviously, I don't know what's going to happen. But I think, going back to the PowerPoint, right? I think that this company is going to benefit from the ongoing droughts, from these fires, as sad as that sounds, and from the Trump administration maybe getting this pipeline project back up and revamped and in action. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see anything more like this, any other companies, drop them in the comments, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.